Very good evening, everyone. You're very welcome to this evening's YouTube video, or this week's YouTube video, I should say. So it's great to be here with you all. So we're trying to put this content out once a week in the long video format. And if you have any questions or any queries, please don't hesitate and put them in the comment section below. I'll gladly come back to people individually and answer them. So one of those topics that affected me in the past, and thankfully I got over that, was that word procrastination. It affected my business, it affected my personal life. And it's something that I want to be really real with you about, because it starts to cost businesses a lot of money. I've experienced that in the past, and I really want to help businesses that might be going through that right now to get over that hurdle pretty quick and get back to earning more money quickly. And I'm going to share with you just some notes that I've taken down. I have my notepad in front of me. I'll share some of these thoughts that I've had, and hopefully they'll be a benefit to you. So I suppose, think about it like, just even for example, last Sunday, the Sunday gone, 2 days ago, you might have been lying on your couch, you might have been at your kitchen table, you might have been scrolling through your phone, thinking about, why did I not send that email? Why is it still in drafts instead of being in the sent section of the emails? Why did I not pick up the phone or maybe email the person who was interested in having a partnership within our business? What about a pricing update on a particular product or service that I do? What about all those things? What about a particular product launch that you might be getting ready to do, and you still haven't done it? Remember, we've all been there, but this is about getting over this hurdle right now. So, sometimes we push these thoughts aside and we say to ourselves, we'll deal with it on a Monday, the famous Monday. It's amazing in everyone's life. Whether it's a diet, I'll change on Monday. Whether it's a product launch, I'll do it on Monday. Whether it's doing something simple out in the garden for your family, I'll do it on Monday. Monday seems to be that magical day to do everything. Or what about when things quieten down? Or what about when you felt ready to do things? Or what about when you had a clearer plan? Or when the kids go back to school, or after the holidays? Or when the economy settled? Oh my God, there's so many excuses that we give ourselves. But does that really resonate with you, or does it sound familiar? Because at one stage in my life, it sounded incredibly familiar to me. Look, here's what I want you to understand as we go a small bit further. That Sunday evening of avoidance, it affects each and every one of us like that. It stops us from going further. It stops us from taking those advanced steps. And the truth of it is, it's actually costing us a fortune. So it is like that. An absolute fortune. Look, today, we'll talk about the procrastination, not so much like in that kind of fluffy motivational way, but just all I really want you to be able to do is take belief within yourself and take action. Like when I started off in this business, like I hated social media. I mean, absolutely hated it. Now I've started to get comfortable by doing 3 reels each day and 3 shorts for YouTube each day. And now I've committed for the next 5 years to do a YouTube video each and every week. That's the commitment to me, so that I can try and bring value to the person that's watching this. But what it's also doing is it's helping to override procrastination by committing to do these things. So I suppose, let me look at one of the things that I have put down in my notes. And the first one I put down was what was called the myth of the lazy procrastinator. So here's the first thing we need to clear up, first of all, because it's a misunderstanding. It lets procrastination hide so effectively in the lives of the ambitious, hardworking, genuine, capable people, just like yourselves, you that are watching. So remember, procrastination is not laziness. And I'm going to say that again to you. Procrastination is not laziness. The lazy person does not have goals like you have. The reason you might be watching this YouTube channel, or the reason you might be watching some other YouTube channel, is because you're not lazy. You want to achieve different things in your life. The lazy person doesn't lie awake at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning running numbers in their head. The lazy person doesn't read a script out loud and thinking about growing their business. So therefore, it's not you. You're not lazy. But you're the opposite of lazy. You're probably busy. You probably have 100 different things going on in your head at the moment. You're probably wearing those 12 or 13 hats like so many entrepreneurs and business owners wear. But the reality of it is that you're actually a decent human being trying to help and benefit those people that are around you. So the problem is that you're not doing nothing. The problem is that you're doing everything except the things that would move your business forward. As I heard the great Myron Golden mention before, what can you do today to move the needle forward in your business? I thought it was a powerful line. And that's what makes procrastination so insidious in the concept of growing a small business. It hides inside the busyness. And we can all testify to have been incredibly busy at some stage and not truly getting what we needed to get done, not taking those actions that allowed the needle to move forward. It disguises itself really as responsibility. It wears the costume of being professional, being prepared and being thorough. And while you've been busy being all of those things, the revenue generating work, the visibility, the working on the relationships, the dealing with the clients, all slips by. And what does it do? It stops you from really, going from that 5-figure to 6-figure income, or from that 6-figure to 7-figure income, whatever the income that you truly want, what that goal is for you. But that's what procrastination does. It stops you from moving forward. Again, as what was stated earlier on in the last paragraph that I was speaking about, it stops you from moving the needle forward in your business. So what are we going to do about it? I think one of the greatest teachers in human performance, in my opinion, was the late, great Bob Proctor. Bob was a phenomenal human being. Never had the pleasure to meet him personally, but studied a lot of his courses. And, he talked about procrastination in the terms of paradigms. He said that it was a collection of habits and beliefs that operate largely below our conscious awareness and that determine most of our behaviour. And most of our behaviour, truthfully, is habitual. Each and every one of us know that. He thought the reason that most people do not change the results is that they genuinely want to change and they genuinely try to change. So therefore, it's not a lack of effort, but it's that paradigm that's there that keeps holding you back. It's like the thermostat that's set at 70 degrees. Sometimes you might get that up to 80 degrees, but over a small bit of time, it'll bring it back down again. It'll bring it back down to 70 degrees. It'll bring it back to familiar territory. It'll bring it back to where comfort is. And comfort is like a minefield. It can be the most dangerous place that you or your business can ever lie because it doesn't allow you to move forward. It brings you back to where you feel safe and back to places where you already know. Again, it's familiarity. So that 6-figure ceiling that you might want to be going to, when you're bumping up against it, it's never a market problem. In Bob Proctor's language, it's a paradigm problem. So the good news is that about paradigms, I suppose, is that we can change them. But first you have to see the paradigm clearly. You have to be able to understand that. So there's different phases I've discovered of procrastination. So there's 5 that I've learned from the past. And let's look at the ones that affect your business. I suppose procrastination is, what's the best word I could use? I suppose it's a shapeshifter. It rarely shows up saying, like, I'm procrastination, I'm here to ruin your business. But it truly comes in a form of disguise, recognizing that disguise is actually half that battle. So what are the 5 faces that show up in your business? Well, number 1, I feel, is the perfectionist. So the perfectionist is not procrastinating. The perfectionist is refining the whole time. It's improving. It's trying to get it right. The website needs one more edit. I've definitely been guilty of that one in the past. Always trying to adjust the website and thinking that it had to be perfect. And the truth is, I should have just been taking more action. But the perfectionist will also say that the offer needs to be clearer, or the course needs another module, or the proposal needs to be, structured. And sometimes the website never gets launched. It's all talk. So it just really frustrates you. And as the late great Jim Rohn once said, and I have to write this down in front of me here, it's quite simple and devastating the way he states it. He said, don't mistake movement for achievement. It's easy to get faked out by being busy. So the perfectionist is always moving, almost never achieving. And because achievement requires completion, and completion requires courage to say that this is good enough for right now and to be put in front of the world. I love those words from Jim Rohn. When I think of the likes of, Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie, look, we all know someone who's phenomenal at motivating us. But they were like sages. There were people who had great wisdom from the years of experience that they had, and they were able to help us develop. And the words that they had really had meaning behind them. And I suppose it's to try and understand what those meaning that they had, so that you can help improve your business. So the second phase of that then became the researcher. And the researcher, of course, has loads of tabs open on the laptop or on the desktop, whatever it might be. The researcher will always have 2 or 3 books on the go and is signed up for more free webinars than you could ever desire to sign up for. The researcher is always gathering information, building knowledge, preparing to act, and the researcher will be ready soon, but just not yet. And the truth is, at one stage, I was also the researcher. I was great for gathering information, going on courses, getting as much information as I could. But what I wasn't doing, I wasn't implementing the good knowledge that I was receiving. Therefore, my business was staying in that same position. It wasn't moving forward. I wasn't bringing that needle forward. And that was a devastation to me, because the reality of it is all I was doing was spending months putting all this information together and not taking the action. And that can really, really frustrate you. So it can, like that. So phase number 3, I suppose, in the procrastinator will be the overwhelmed. The overwhelmed person has so much to do because they don't know where to start. So they start nowhere, or they start everywhere at once and they end up finishing nothing, or they spend most of their productive hours, deciding what to work on than rather working. If we look at phase 4 is the decision defer. So could that be you? Are you the person that knows what they should do, but somewhere in the back of their mind they already know the answer? They can raise the prices. We're going to fire the client. We're going to invest in the particular tools. We're going to hire that person. We're going to stop doing the service that drains you. You need to start doing the work that energizes you. Okay, that's really important. And phase 5 then is the reactor. The reactor is always responding to what is urgent rather than doing what is important. And I'm sure we can all have been guilty of that at some stage. Their day is shaped by incoming emails, client requests, interruptions, and all they seem to be doing is putting out fires on a daily basis. But by the time they get to that high value strategic work, the energy is gone and the day is nearly over. So with those 5 phases of procrastination, I'm sure each and every one of us can identify one of those phases that affects your business today. But there's a real cost to procrastination. So let us talk about the money, because, truthfully, as they say, after oxygen, money is probably the most important thing. It's what allows us to, health is the most important thing. We all know that bit. But money is important for us to be able to do the things that we truly want to do. Money is there to be able to help us have that financial freedom, to be able to also create value and to create joy for other people apart from ourselves, especially our family and our friends and our loved ones. But at some point, understanding that procrastination is emotionally driven needs to connect to that financial reality of what is it costing you. So ask yourself that question tonight. What is procrastination costing me? Consider this. If you're currently generating 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 euro a year in your business, and your goal may be 100,000 or 150,000, whatever it may be, there's a gap there, and that gap might be 20, 30, 40,000 euro per year. So you have to ask yourself, over a year, what are those key activities that I'm going to implement within my business that are going to help close that gap and will diminish the procrastination? I'm sure as I'm talking to you, you can think of them straight away. So the gap, just for argument's sake, you're earning 60,000 and you want to earn 100,000. Pick a simple figure. So the gap is 40,000. Plus the compounding effect of the delayed growth within your business that follows. So procrastination itself doesn't just cost you money now. It costs you money that you would have reinvested. The clients that you would have attracted, the reputation that you would have built, the confidence that you would have developed through the experiences that you would have done by doing the hard things. So procrastination, when we look at it, it really affects so many different areas of our life. But there's also an identity cost that rarely gets talked about. And as I refer to my notes here, it states that every time you know you should do something and you do not do it, you're sending a message to yourself about who you truly are. You tell yourself at a level below conscious awareness that you are somebody who does not follow through, somebody who's not quite ready, somebody who just needs more time. And that story really compounds so powerfully at a financial cost. And after years of it, many business owners, have a deep unspoken conviction that they're simply not the kind of person that reaches the next level. When you start to believe that, my good God, tonight, it really affects you, doesn't it? It affects you to the core to think that you cannot get to the next level because of a belief system or an image problem that you actually have built into your system. And that's been built in since you've been a young child, growing all the way up into teenage years and adulthood. You accepted that this was the person that you wanted to be. But the truth is that the reflection is not a relief on the reality. It's a reflection on the pattern of behaviours that can be changed. But the truth is it has to be named first. So all those things that I've spoken about, each and every one of them can be changed. That paradigm can be changed. Andrew Carnegie, who was probably one of the wealthiest men in the United States at one stage, and he built it from, literally nothing. And he said, people who are unable to the word was, people who are unable to motivate themselves must be content with mediocrity, no matter how impressive their other talents are. What a line. Imagine just to be content with mediocrity. And no, Andrew Carnegie wasn't being cruel. He was being precise, because motivation in the end is not something that happens to you. It is something you generate by acting, even imperfectly, even uncomfortably, in the direction that you want. Think about this tonight. How is procrastination affecting you? How is it affecting your business? How is it affecting your self-image? I know it affected me at one stage, and I had to go and get the right mentorship to implement the changes that I needed to in my life. And that has brought me this evening to be able to present this video to you, so that I can try and help you or somebody like you in making those changes within your business. I think this is a video that I'm going to continue with again next week, because I've broken this up into, I'll probably break it up into two 15-minute segments. And I just hope that this video has helped someone this evening. And if I can help you in any way, if I can help your business maybe go from that 5-figure to 6-figure, or 6-figure to 7-figure, please reach out. Please leave a comment in the comment section. And until next week, may God bless each and every one of you. And I hope that you have a great day. Thanks again for taking the time to listen.